Dr. Moreau, a recluse with a wild beard and eyes that burned with a chilling intensity, cackled as the last vial of the mutagenic virus shattered against the stone floor of his Hilltop laboratory. Years of meticulous work, fueled by a deep-seated hatred for human civilization, had culminated in this moment. He envisioned a world stripped bare, returned to the primal simplicity of the Stone Age, a world free from the plague of humanity. The virus, designed to transform humans into mindless, flesh-hungry zombies, was his masterpiece. His first test subjects, unwitting volunteers lured to his lab under false pretenses, had proven his theory correct. Within hours, they had become shambling horrors, their eyes clouded, their skin a sickly green, their hunger insatiable. Moreau released them into the unsuspecting city below. The wind carried the virus, infecting those who breathed the tainted air. And soon, the first reports of strange violence and inexplicable deaths began to filter in. At first, it was dismissed as a series of isolated incidents, gang violence, drug-related deaths, the occasional deranged killer. But as the days bled into nights, the true horror became undeniable. The city's streets became battlegrounds, filled with the moans and groans of the infected. The military tried to contain the outbreak, but the virus spread faster than they could quarantine it. Buildings were overrun, and the screams of the living were quickly drowned out by the guttural cries of the undead. Sarah, a young journalist who had initially scoffed at the early reports, found herself trapped in her apartment building, surrounded by the relentless hordes. She watched from her window as the city she knew and loved was consumed by the green-tinged tide of the infected. She saw her neighbors, friends, even family members, transformed into monstrous parodies of their former selves. One day, a distant rumble broke the monotony of the zombie moans. A small band of survivors, armed with makeshift weapons in a desperate hope, fought their way through the streets. They were led by a grizzled veteran, a man named Marcus, who had lost everything to the virus, but not his will to fight. Sarah, seeing her chance, managed to signal them, and they brought her to safety. They found refuge in an abandoned underground subway station, a desperate haven in the heart of the ravaged city. They knew this was only a temporary respite, but it offered a chance to plan, to organize, to fight back. Marcus, with his strategic mind and Sarah's journalistic skills, began to coordinate their defense and search for a way to counter the virus. Their hope was a fragile thing, but it burned brightly against the encroaching darkness of Moreau's twisted vision. Meanwhile, on his Hilltop laboratory, Dr. Moreau watched the unfolding scenes with glee, oblivious of the team of survivors.